topic, that is the human eye and the colorful world. What do you mean by the human eye? That is the source or the important organ or the essential organ which is required to see the objects, right? Now, in the previous chapter, we have discussed regarding the laws of reflection and refraction and how our eye is able to see the objects. Now, in this chapter, we will be studying in detail about how this rainbow formation is occurred, right? It is very interesting topic because we always see the rainbow, right? And we will be studying how this is formed because of the light refraction and the splitting of white and blue colors in the sky. That is, if you observe the sky, it consists of white and blue, right? The clouds or even all this, whatever above the sky, you will be observing some part will be whitish and some will be bluish. That is, the splitting is done between these two colors. And those properties and what's the hidden secret behind this splitting is also explained in this chapter. Now, let us see the refraction of light. What do you mean by the refraction of light? Just we will be giving a glimpse of idea because we have studied already in the previous chapter, that is nature, position and relative size of objects. That means in the refraction we will be first considering the nature and the position of the object and at the same time the relative sizes of the different objects, that is the comparison of the objects. Now in this chapter we will be studying in detail about the functioning of lens. What do you mean by the lens? The lens which are used in order to see, that is we will be observing in the spectacles, right, that the lens will be using different types of lens, concave, convex, the mirrors and all lens will be using. That is, what is the use of these lens and how they are functioned and how they correct the defects of the vision. Because of the defects of vision only we will be using these lens in order to see the objects very clearly and perfect. Now we will be seeing these lenses, how they correct the defects in the vision, how they minimize and maximize the words what we see, and how the power of accommodation, that is how much power is inbuilt with the lens what we are using in spectacles. All these three properties regarding the lens we will be studying in detail, and at the same time we will be studying the human eye functioning also and the organs which are involved in the human eye and the defects of the vision and the corrections. That means how we are having the deficiency of the vision, why we are lacking of this vision and how we have to correct it. All this in detail we will be studying, and the three types of diseases that are occur because of the defects in vision are myopia and hypermetropia and presbyopia. These three diseases which are occurred because of the defects, that is the deficiency of the vitamin A, and we will be getting all these three diseases, that is myopia, and we will be studying these diseases in detail, and also the refraction of light through prism. Why we will be studying the refraction of light through prism is how the rays, that is vision, we will be studying in detail, the colors, how they are formed in the rainbow and how they are splitted, right? That will be studied in the refraction of prism, and the optical phenomena in nature, that is the major cause is the optical phenomena only, that is the refraction property of the light. All these topics will be studying in detail. The structure of human eye and the operation of human eye. If you observe the sensitive organs, that is sense organs, the five sense organs are eyes, ears, there is nose and tongue and skin, right? In this all, you will be observing that eye is acting as playing a prominent role when compared to the others, because if you want to see any object in the world or if you want to find out the colors of this beautiful world, you need to have the eyes in order to recognize, right? If you see here, the structure of the eye has been drawn here, and we are comparing this eye with the help of the camera, because see, if you observe here, the camera is having the spherical-like structure, and the lens of the camera are the most important one or most important part which are playing a prominent role, right? So in the same way, by coming to our eyes are also having the lens, and those lenses are said to be as retina. This retina will be playing the prominent role in order to capture the images of what the objects we are seeing, right? And therefore, if you observe the structure of the eye, it is like spherical in structure. In the same way, if you see the camera, it will be having the lenses of spherical-like in structure. So, by this, we can say that even if you observe the concave and convex lenses, you will be seeing them in spherical-like and curved surfaces, right? Like this. So, by this we can say that whatever the artificial lenses which are made of are reflecting the original ones, that is God-made thing, that is which is in spherical-like in structure. Now, let us see this eyeball which is in spherical-like structure. It is consisting of 8 parts, that is pupil, aqueous humor and cornea, crystalline lens, cilia muscles, retina, optic nerve and vitreous humor. In this, first we will be considering the first outer part, that is which is you will be seeing the bulge-like structure of birds, and this is said to be as the cornea. The outer bulge-like structure is said to be as the cornea, and these cornea, see the outer membrane which is in red color, is said to be as the outer membrane acting as the cornea. This cornea helps in order to capture, that is in order to capture the images, that is if you observe, let us see this cornea. Whenever if you see an object from a far place, the object reflects the light rays, right? And it is passed towards the cornea, that is the outer membrane, and it enters into the inner membrane, that is said to be as retina, which is acting as lens system. The lens system, that is retina, forms the image, and this image will be reflected on the light sensitive screen. That is the light sensitive screen is nothing but the retina will capture the image and will send it to the optic nerve. Now here you will be seeing that light enters the membrane, and this membrane, that is the first outer membrane, is said to be as cornea. This is very transparent and it will be bulged at the center, and the bulging diameter is around 2.3 centimeters. And if you observe here, the refraction of light rays, that is we have studied previously the reflection and refraction properties of light in the previous class, that is this refraction of light rays enters the eyes with the help of this outer membrane, that is cornea, and after entering into the eye, then there will be a light sensitive screen, that is retina. It will capture the image, and this image is formed by the help of the light sensitive cells. These light sensitive cells are said to be as the most prominent cells in the retina. These cells will exactly form the image what will be seen outside, and it is passed towards the optical nerve with the help of the electrical signals. These electrical signals will pass the information towards the optical nerve, and this optical nerve which is connected to the brain will immediately act towards that. That means all the controlling system depends upon these light sensitive cells and the electrical signal and optical nerve which is internally connected towards the brain, and brain will be ultimately coordinating and controlling whole operation. Now you will be seeing that the pupil, right? Another important part is the pupil, which regulates the control of the eyeball, that is the eye structure. Now, the amount of light which is entering into this eye will be passed from the cornea towards the retina, and after the retina there will be the pupil-like structure, that is which is controlling this image, and it will be transferred to the brain, right? That is the coordination is done and operating is done by the pupil. If you see here, the other most important point is, that is iris. What do you mean by iris? That is the part which is in between these two, that is after retina the pupil will be there, and in between the iris structure will be there. What do you mean by iris? This iris will be exactly behind the cornea, and this iris will be dark muscular diaphragm. That is, if you see in your eye, there will be an eyeball, right? It will be in black color, right? The eyeball which is in black color is said to be as iris. Now, this is most valuable and sensitive sense organ of the eye. if you see here, these crystalline lens that if you observe in the cameras, you will be seeing that lens which are adjusting towards the picture, right? We'll be zooming in and zoom out is done in the camera artificial lens, right? That is, in the same manner, these retina will be adjusting itself to the focal length of the objects which are focused towards it. Therefore, we are able to see the objects according to that, because retina is automatically adjusting itself in order to recognize the objects, in order to see the objects. So if at all there is any deficiency, we will be just saying that short sight and long sight, that is all because of the deficiency or that is inability of the retina in order to adjust for the objects, right? Now here we have learned about four parts, that is the retina, which is acting as a contact lens and which is adjusting towards the focal length of the objects, and at the same time we have studied the cornea, which is the outer membrane, and this iris, which is exactly behind the cornea, is like black structure, and the pupil, which is controlling the whole part of the object, right? And this is the structure of the eye and how the functioning of the eye will be done. Now, if you observe this eye will be inside